Finally, we back live and direct. You know what I'm saying, fam? We back in this motherfucker. I know I've been gone for like a fucking minute, and that's simply because, and actually, this is what we'll talk about first. Then we'll talk about obviously Kirk, and then we'll get back into the PBD versus commies because that's kind of where we left off. But obviously, the world has happened in like the last week since I've been live. I think it was actually about 9 days ago, but basically what happened is I actually got a strike on YouTube for like a fucking week because normally I post all my content on YouTube all the fucking time, and I also stream through YouTube. So I couldn't even stream on YouTube or post any content on YouTube because YouTube gave me a strike. And they gave me a strike because I was being too real with you niggas. You know, I was talking about a little bit about history, or I was making a point about how I don't want you guys to be easily manipulated by information that you're given and shit like that. And I ended up mentioning a certain guy who was famous during the 1940s, and they didn't really fuck with that. So at least with that being said, at least whenever I'm streaming on YouTube or talking on YouTube, I'll tone it down just a little bit. At least I'll use like code language and shit like that because I want to maintain YouTube, because obviously using YouTube will be very important for growing the fam. And then later, as I become more prominent and famous and cold as fuck, naturally I'll start moving more niggas over to Rumble so I can just say more shit that I actually want to say, because it's annoying not being able to say fully what I really want to say or make certain points, because a big tenet of all the things that I talk about, or something that's very around it, is the idea of being honest and having a lot of honor. I actually dropped a video on honor on YouTube today, and I actually need to post that shit on Rumble now that I'm thinking about it. But basically, being honorable, a big part of that is telling the truth. And if I feel like I can't really be completely honest with you niggas, that kind of like fucks me up. So I was being too honest, and YouTube was punishing me for that shit. So YouTube being fucking gay. But the point is, let's say in a future situation, if I were to crash out and YouTube got banned, boom, you niggas would be able to find all my content on Rumble, because that's pretty much what I did over the last few days. I just collected all my content from YouTube, at least over the past like month or 2 months. I've collected all that content and put it all on Rumble. So now I'm just going to be posting on Rumble while I'm also posting on YouTube all the time now, to ensure that you guys always have access to all my content. You know what I'm saying? Can learn the important mental models and lessons that you need to learn in order to accomplish all your fucking goals, because, you know, that's why you're here. That's why you're in the fam. That's why we cook. You know what I'm saying? So, but YouTube was just so fucking gay for that, bro. Like, I was like, when I saw that strike, I'm like, oh shit, man. This YouTube shit, bro. You never know when they could take your shit away for saying the wrong thing. And I love Rumble because Rumble's obviously pro free speech, but anything could change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the owner of the platform. Platforms can change. But at the end of the day, if I feel like something's getting awkward, I got to just save all my content on a terabyte and then put that shit somewhere. So just in case, you know what I'm saying? Because the internet can go away whenever it wants to go away. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we always stay adaptable and we keep cooking as hard as possible. So yeah, man, you know, we're going to get right back into it in terms of posting consistently and streaming consistently, so I can just keep cooking for you guys. And yeah, so that's just how we're going to fucking move. So now I actually want to talk about something very important. And obviously that is Charlie Kirk's passing, which just recently happened about 2 days ago. Incredibly unfortunate situation. You know, he's obviously a ridiculously well-renowned conservative legend, to be honest, like absolute conservative legend, especially with what he was doing with the debates and talking to college kids and getting rid of the fucking woke mind virus and just the retarded mental illness that a lot of these niggas have, unfortunately. But, you know, he ended up losing his life for that. And it's just ridiculously unfortunate. And makes me, it's almost like radicalized me more in terms of like being honest, telling the truth, you know, and pushing a lot more conservative values, because like we're in this weird state now in the country where niggas are more than willing to murder your ass if you just have the wrong views. Like, it's not even like you're just like, he wasn't even the crazy thing about him is that he was not even he wasn't even politically elected. You know what I'm saying? He's not a politician. He was just a nigga with a microphone talking. Obviously he was more than that, but I'm simplifying it. Like, that's all he was. He's just like any other random dude that would take a microphone and go out and talk to people. So, and they murdered him for that shit. So it's like crazy, the kind of state that we're in. And it's because we've allowed this mental illness to fester and fester and fester and fester. And this brings me to like a tweet that I actually put out about, I would say yesterday, a tweet that I put out yesterday. I'm going to read it out to you niggas so you guys can understand how I feel about this whole situation and what I want you guys to actually really, really learn from this situation. So I'm going to share this for you guys really quick so you guys can be able to see it. And I'll read it out for y'all so you guys can understand how I feel and how I want you niggas to actually move from now on. Okay. You guys should be able to see it, and I'll read it out for you guys. Okay. I urge with my whole heart that the entire right wing does not lose the political will it has gained due to Charlie Kirk's death, especially for young men and even more specifically for young white men. All you should be thinking about is working self-development and politics all day, every day. Your environment is always what makes or breaks you. So you must cut off any friends that want to just chill, party, chase hoes, or partake in any degenerative activities that could distract you from defending your country, because we've seen too many times where a massive political event occurs, everyone gets excited and involved, and then eventually falls off because of distractions. We can easily win this war in the long term if no young man is willing to lose any focus, consistency, and will. Okay, guys. So, what's really important about this shit that I want you guys to understand when it comes to fighting back against these niggas that are, quite frankly, evil, demons, soulless individuals that are horribly mentally ill, right? To see the amount of niggas that were so willingly laughing at the fact that this guy died. They're like, oh, I'm so happy he fucking died. We need to kill more right wingers. We need, who's next? Who's next? Super fucking happy to see somebody die. It's like, understand, guys, that this is transcended politics. This is not, or don't even let leftists or the left or liberals convince you that this is a, oh, both sides are doing it shit. Nigga, no. This is completely different, right? Politics is just, okay, us discussing how we want a certain area to be governed. Fine. But when you get to a point where somebody is politically assassinated, like Charlie was, and then you guys are happy that somebody has died, oh, this isn't about politics anymore. This is about morality, because it is completely immoral to want to be excited at the fact that somebody died, even if they're politically opposed to you. Niggas are going to have disagreements. I have no problem with disagreements. You probably have no problem with disagreements. It's fine for niggas to disagree. Ain't no nigga got a problem with that shit. But the problem is we get into a horrible position when we're completely okay with wanting people to die for their beliefs. This is moral now. This is like, no, we shouldn't want people to die because we disagree with them politically. What kind of fucking country are we? Are we trying to become like fucking Baghdad or some dumb shit? Are we trying to become some like third world country where if somebody disagrees with you, you just stab them in the fucking neck and they die? Like, what kind of dumb shit are we trying to, what kind of country are we trying to be? That's stupid. We need to make sure that people are allowed to have disagreements. This is supposed to be a high IQ country, guys. We're supposed to be allowed to have disagreements and not kill each other over these disagreements. But the left has obviously become very demonic. And for that reason, this is why the political will that a lot of you young conservative guys that probably watch me, you know, you guys could obviously tell by my rhetoric and the way that I talk, I'm very conservative. And I would even argue Charlie was a very moderate guy. From stuff that I've already said across my socials, whether it be YouTube, Rumble, X, or whatever, or even Instagram, I'm way further right than Charlie is. And they killed him. A moderate conservative, they killed him, bro. So imagine what happens to guys that even have harsher rhetoric than this. They want to literally murder your ass for sure. So with that being said, I want you guys to understand that you have to be in a position where not only do I want you guys to become extremely successful, work very hard for your goals, you know what I'm saying, become very successful, chase a purpose, reach the peak of your power and masculinity, but I also want you guys to pay ridiculous attention to politics. As I said in that tweet there, you guys need to be working very hard and also be paying attention to politics and ignoring everything else. The main reason why this country has become the way it's become, and so many niggas with mental illness have been able to run around rampant, the main reason why over the last decade and a half, you can't say a certain thing on the internet or niggas try to cancel you. You can't say a certain thing at your job or people will get you fired from your job. The main reason why niggas have been able to search you up from when you were 10 years old and you said nigger one time on camera and then now they fired you from your job. The reason why all these things have happened is because the average man is no longer willing to die for their country. And if you have enemies that do not fear killing you, but you fear dying, who's in the power position now? The ones that want to kill you because you're afraid to die. So they control you, they cancel you, they threaten to destroy your life, and you give in. You don't want your life destroyed. And it's that cowardice that has allowed the country to become the way it is. That has allowed so many stupid motherfuckers to run around and talk about he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, without any repercussions at all, which has eventually led to Charlie's death. Charlie's death was caused by the cowardice of the average man in the United States today. I'm going to be honest. That's really what has happened. Because we let these niggas run around, say whatever the fuck they want to say about us, right? And we thought that these niggas were people that could be negotiated with, we could disagree with. When even though deep down we all knew that wasn't the case. Why, when I'm having a discussion with one of these individuals, if I mention, hey, I kind of think we should have borders, they're like, what? You're a fascist. Instantly. It's like, this is not a normal individual that I'm dealing with at all here. This is not a normal individual anymore. This is a mentally insane person. Why am I even debating with this individual? But we let this fester. We gave into it. Niggas don't want to be canceled, right? Niggas don't have any political will. They're like, it's not a big deal. It's whatever. But slowly but surely, your country's getting fucked up, and you've just been watching, right? Because you fear death, you fear the risk that you need to take, right? But at least now, seeing what has now happened to Charlie, I want young men to gain that political will and maintain the political will. Because as I said in the tweet as well, a lot of guys are going to look at the situation, have a lot of political will. A lot of young conservative men are like, yo, I need to get involved. I need to be involved in politics. I need to make sure that our country is changing for the better. But then a week's going to pass, 2 weeks going to pass, a month's going to pass. You're going to let the distractions fall in to your life. You're going to let bum ass niggas be like, oh, let's go party, let's go drink, let's go chase hoes, let's go do all these different things. And you're going to forget. And I don't want you niggas to fucking forget. Nobody in the fam should forget this shit. And the only way you niggas don't forget is to make sure that your environment has no guys at all that want to partake in that nonsense. You need to just be, I work, I improve myself, I pay attention to politics. That's it. Because an even bigger thing out of this is understand that if you even were to get rich, become very important and successful, what is the point of having all that if your country is fucking destroyed? Because if you're not willing to risk your life now, what's going to end up happening is you're going to reach a later point in your life where everything around you is destroyed and now you have nothing to fight for. And they'll kill you anyway. It's either you die now or you die later, but either way, you're going to die. We're all going to die. It doesn't matter. We're all going to die. So it's either you die now, fighting for the peace and the country that you actually really want, or you die later when you have nothing left to fight for. Right? We have to be willing. We have to be willing. We have to be willing. This isn't a choice. It isn't a debate. If you truly do love this country, you have to be willing to die for it. And if that means you got to pick up a mic and you got to go set up a table and you got to go outside and talk about these things, if your rhetoric has to become more aggressive and you die for it, then that's fine. Because at least you were willing to fight and die for this country. Because I don't understand how that to you is worse in comparison to you just living your life, ignoring all the politics, ignoring all the bullshit. Your entire country gets destroyed. It doesn't look the way that you want it to look. And I'm even talking specifically here to white men as well. It doesn't look the way you want it to look. It doesn't look the way that your founding fathers wanted it to look. Right? And then everybody around you has no sympathy for you, as you've seen with the left. Because you chose to be like, oh, no, I don't want to risk anything. Oh, no, I don't want to get involved in politics. I don't want to fuck with that shit. And then the people you love all die. And then you eventually die. What's the point in that? So maintain this political will, y'all. Stay in the game. Stay focused on this shit. Continue to improve. Continue to get better. And stay glued to the news. Stay glued to everything that is going on. And make sure that you're voting. You're getting involved as possible. Staying involved. It's easy to lose your radicalization. And I don't mean radicalize, you need to go partake in violence, but I mean radicalize in the sense of you're aware, you're paying attention, you're staying involved, you're fighting back against any wokeness and any of this foolishness. Because it's no longer a battle of left or right. It's good and evil now. So make sure you're on the right side of history. So yeah, man. That's kind of all I have to say about the Charlie Kirk situation there. Very simply, for me, it has really motivated me a lot. And a lot of the things that I just said just now are aimed at myself a lot more. You know, I would say, honestly speaking here, like I wasn't really politically involved at all or really paying attention very aggressively till Trump got elected actually back in January. Like I completely ignored politics. I was like, I don't really give a fuck. You know, I want to focus more on my goals, on my own personal goals. And that was pretty selfish of me, to be honest. It was pretty selfish. I was just like, oh, this shit doesn't matter. Not realizing, looking back now, my life is still affected by all the political shit going on. Understand? Like the fact that you can't say certain things online because you could get canceled all the way back in like 2020, for example. Like shit like that affected my life in terms of the way that I moved, but I just didn't care. I just ignored it and thought it was okay, but it's not fucking okay. Nobody should have to live like that. You shouldn't be scared to lose your job because you said nigger when you were 12 years old, bro. What the fuck are we on? Like, sorry. You shouldn't be able to lose your job because you said nigger when you were 12. Who gives a fuck? So we're at this position where we have to, or not we, just even me, when I was just thinking about it, like I didn't give a fuck. But now that I'm super glad that I give a fuck, and what has happened, Charlie, has just radicalized me more. And I'm in a position where if anything else happens to any other right winger, like I'm on the come up, bro. I'm on the come up. I'll be talking my shit. My rhetoric will be even way more fucking aggressive because there's a lot of bullshit going on, y'all, that I really don't fuck with, man. And especially for my young American men here, I want to make sure that you guys have a bright future. That's why I even make a lot of the content that I make, man, in terms of the mental models, and you guys understanding what it really means to be a man and what it really takes and all these things that I explained, because I want you guys to have a bright future. You guys need to understand these things to have a bright future. But a great way to also make sure my young American guys have a bright future is to also protect America and make sure America is a place where young men can prosper, because we're the most powerful people in this country by far, because we're going to be the ones to lead the country in the future. So in my mind, Charlie's always going to be a martyr for sure, in terms of a new right, a stronger right, you know. And every single man that they kill, a new man will rise that is less vulnerable, stronger, faster, smarter every single time. And it almost becomes a situation where it becomes clearer and clearer who is good and who is evil. Because I think for so long, a lot of people on the right or conservatives have not really realized just how crazy the left is and how evil these motherfuckers are. They haven't really been able to know about what's wrong with these stupid ass niggas. They really haven't been able to know. But with the Charlie situation, I think a lot of them have been able to wake up to it. And they've been like this for a very long time. But it's just like this situation made them really realize what the fuck is actually going on with these niggas. These niggas are actually crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the more of us that they decide to kill, what ends up happening is those who sit on the sidelines and sit here and still think, oh, this is just a left and right political issue. It'll become clearer and clearer that, like, no, one side is clearly acting evil and one side is clearly good. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly what I want, because it's been too long. You know, we've all had these sit here and sat these feelings. We've all felt like the left is kind of weird. And a lot of you guys even sitting here watching now have thought to yourself, like, yeah, that's kind of weird that they act that way when you mention this one thing. It's kind of weird that I kind of have to censor what I'm going to say all the fucking time to make sure that this nigga doesn't crash out randomly or try to get me fired from my job and shit. Like, these things are not normal. That's not a society you want to live in, bro. We're fucking America. We got free speech in this motherfucker. Niggas don't want to move like that. Let's be real. So that's kind of where we're at with Charlie, man. Rest in peace to him. Bless his family, bless his wife and his kids. Like, all I know is that we're going to win this war in the end. As long as you stay focused and locked in, we're going to win this war in the end. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. We'll keep things cooking, keep things moving forward. All right. So with that being said, we'll move into going over the PBD versus the commies again. Just because I think there's just so much important shit that I can drag out of that shit that I was already going through. We only got like 5 minutes in before the great striking of YouTube on my ass. Fuck them niggas for that, bro. But, you know, got to use YouTube because, you know, got to do it to grow the fam. You know what I'm saying? I need more of you niggas in my fucking army, bro. More of you niggas. I need more of you niggas. All right. Hold on. Bless me. Damn. Okay. Let me get this shit up for you guys. And we'll just jump right back into it. You know what I'm saying? Because we cook fast. I think we'll keep going for about, I would say, yeah, we'll keep it like an hour. We'll keep the streams going for like pretty much like an hour. Normal, what I've been doing normally. I do still want to stream for longer, but you know what I'm saying? With all this content, I'm all posting at the same time, which I'm doing by myself. I'm like, shit, man. I got to like almost like choose one. I could either do this content with short form and everything over here, but then I have to stream less, or I stream more and I have to do less content on that side. I don't know. I'll decide. Things always change in the future. As I was talking about when it comes to achieving your goals anyway, you got to be in this position where unpredictable shit happens. You have to be willing to adapt your model and how you're moving it at the drop of a hat too, to be a winner. You know what I'm saying? Life is very unpredictable. So those who accept the unpredictability are the ones that win the most. Anyway, let's get into it.
Incentive.
History is a march of progress, right? So there are going to be advancements that we make, or there's going to be solutions that we make to previous ailments. I'm not saying that capitalism hasn't brought in better things than systems like feudalism or monarchy.
Oh yeah, even that's the one thing that I was thinking about. I can't believe I remember from like a week ago. It's just because like after I hopped off stream, I'm like, oh yeah, I should have said this too. Okay, so what's super funny about capitalism, right? Or why capitalism actually works very, very well is that when anyone has an issue with capitalism, capitalism also solves said issue. Earlier in this stream, this nigga was talking about how like there's a wealth issue. Like, oh, not everybody has the opportunity to work up to the 1% or work up to a lot of wealth or whatever. Like, if you're born into a wealthy family, you have an inherent advantage over those who are born into a poor or average family. And that's very much true. Like if you have a very wealthy parent, they're going to impart to you knowledge that allow them to get wealthy. And then you can use that to get wealthy too. But if you have very poor or average parents, they're not going to really know or be aware of opportunities that can lead to you becoming very wealthy. You pretty much have to go out and figure it out yourself. And for him, he's like, oh, that's a fucking issue. That's gay. I don't like that. But the thing is, capitalism also solves that issue. When you look at guys like Alex Hermosi, for example, who is very prominent on YouTube for giving out very high level business advice from all the way of you being broke all the way up to being a millionaire and so on and so forth, right? So in itself, you can now learn how to go from broke, bum ass nigga all the way to a very rich nigga. Like all that information is now available to you if you just have a phone with YouTube on it. You can just go search it up. All of these things created through what? Through fucking capitalism. So it's funny to me when niggas hate on capitalism all the time, not realizing capitalism is the only system that can fucking fix itself because there's incentive that drives it. Value creates value. Capitalism inherently is meant to solve problems. That's the whole thing here. You have an issue, I can solve your problem, you give me money in exchange for that shit. So any problem you could possibly have can be solved with capitalism. This is why it's the best fucking system. No other system can fix itself. This is why communism is gay and doesn't fucking work. That shit can't fix itself. Nobody has an incentive to work or do anything. If nobody has an incentive to work or fucking do anything, nothing gets created. You see what I'm saying? That's not a system that can fix itself. If you have any issues with capitalism, it's like, okay, we can solve this problem. If you say, oh, well, what about kids that are born in wealthy families that have an inherent advantage? Okay, well, we can create social media. We can create the internet. And now with the social media and the internet, people can give the information from the wealthy people's heads to people who are poor so they have the opportunity. So now there is not a wealth gap. There's just an effort gap. If you don't want to work hard for more wealth, then you're just not going to make fucking money. And that's nobody's fucking problem. That's your problem, nigga. So, yeah, like it's the only system that can actually fix itself. So, nigga, like, come on now. We're lit off it. All right.
But that does not mean that we're at the end of history. Do you think that capitalism is the final solution? And this is what we're going to...
Yes. It's one of the better solutions. And don't get it twisted, y'all. I'm not even going to sit here and act like capitalism is perfect. Guys, no fucking system is perfect. Life is not fucking perfect. Nothing is perfect. I hate niggas that want perfection. Nothing is perfect, bruh. Everything can be improved upon. That's even what makes life and living exciting in itself. Imagine if everything was perfect, we'd hate everything. It'd be horrible, right? So what is actually better, or what we actually have to understand, is that, okay, capitalism is a system, once again, that can fix itself, and that's what makes it useful. It doesn't need to be perfect if it can fix itself. These other systems that these niggas want can't fix itself. So they don't work. It ends in everybody fucking dying of starvation and hunger. Whereas capitalism, if you have a problem with it, okay, we can create a solution for that problem, and niggas can profit off of it, and then the cycle continues. But as I was mentioning a second ago, this doesn't mean that capitalism doesn't have any problems and or issues. Of course it does. I do think, especially when you look at the pharmaceutical companies, like this is where I start having issues with capitalism, where basically people can sell you stuff that doesn't actually help you and then make a profit off that, which I don't think is good, because this can make people addicted to things that don't actually serve them, which ultimately hurts them. These are like examples of ways that capitalism is bad. Like, oh shit, like you're creating stuff that people don't need. This is also why I fucking hate gym supplements. Oh my fucking God, bruh. Like, for any of you guys that want to get into lifting weights, just go to the gym and lift weight and eat protein. That's it. That's really all it is. Track your calories, lift heavy as fuck, as hard as you possibly can till failure, and eat a lot of protein, and you will get bigger. That's it. Everything else, all the other supplements are gay. And I'm not trying to say this as I'm some professional gym bro or whatever, bruh. But I think I got a pretty nice physique. I think I look pretty good, nigga. So, and this is just off me protein, lifting at home, and with the gym a little bit. That's just really all I'm off. It's not like I'm doing something fucking crazy. Like, that's all you need to do, and you just do it for a long time. And unfortunately, with the gym industry sells a lot of extra bullshit that you don't need. A lot of extra supplements that you don't need. All this macaroon, ashwagandha, all that other bullshit. I've tried all that bullshit, nigga. You don't need that shit. That shit don't do nothing for you. You just need to lift fucking hard, nigga, and watch what the fuck you're eating, and you'll get big. You'll get strong, nigga. So it's just been so. That's why, like, that's kind of stuff like that I do have issues with when it comes to capitalism. Like, people then have this urge because they really want to make money to just sell things that people don't need. You know what I'm saying? Or basically they'll manipulate people into buying things they don't need. It's just like if I have this water bottle here and tell you, oh yeah, you need this water bottle in your life. It's just a nice, beautiful piece of plastic here. You see how the blue stripe goes around this fucking water bottle. It looks beautiful as hell. You really need this shit in your life. You don't have this shit in your life. You a bum ass nigga. Ain't nobody give a fuck about you. You should kill yourself. Like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you clearly don't need this, I'm still selling it to you because I want to make a buck off you. So yes, I agree that capitalism has its issues and its problems, but it is still the only system that can actually fix itself, which makes it one of the better systems. All the other systems, they can't fix themselves, which makes them gay and retarded and dumb. So
I think capitalism is the best economical system because it gives an incentive for you to decide how big of a life you want to build. And by the way, the best way to judge it, let me just say this to you. The best way to judge it is in a very simple way. Take all the countries around the world. There's many different economical systems. What has the longest line of people wanting to get in there? It's America. Why is that? 15 million people.
Because we code, and also because of our culture too. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm talking about the conservatism earlier. You know what I'm saying? It's because of our culture. Because a lot of a dumb thing that liberals also often do, and this is kind of like a more getting back on the conservative side of shit. A dumb thing that a lot of liberals do is that they're like, oh, we should just allow anybody to fucking come here because we should allow all the refugees in. We should allow fucking Pajit, Omar, Muhammad, and all these niggas just come in this motherfucker, whether they're illegal or illegal, whatever. We should just let all these niggas in. And they're like, their main argument is always, oh, they're good for the economy. You know, they help out with the economy. You know what I'm saying? They be boosting that shit. They be getting hired and shit like that. But nigga, what makes America valuable is not the economy. It's the culture. It's the Constitution. That's why America is lit as fuck. We got free speech here. We got the right to bear arms here. You know what I'm saying? These rights is what makes it lit to be here. Having these rights while also having capitalism here is what makes this place have amazing amounts of opportunity. That's why everybody wants to come here and nobody wants to go anywhere else. Everywhere else is gay, has a lot less freedom and a lot less opportunity economically. That's why nobody wants to go anywhere. If we bring all these motherfuckers here that have a completely different culture and then they change the entire culture, they change the Constitution, it's not going to be worth it making money here. It's not going to be worth it anymore because it's not fun to live here. Most niggas would just come here, make money, and fucking leave. It's fun to be here. There's so much opportunity here because of the culture. If the culture fucking changes, the opportunity here is going to change. Because the culture is what allows for the opportunity. The culture is what allows for capitalism to prosper here. If we get rid of everything that this country has been based on, you end up becoming fucking a bum ass country in like the Middle East or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you end up becoming lame. You end up becoming fucking Ethiopia, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's gay. That's not fun. Like it does not work for the long term. Not everything is about the economy. If I told you right now, hey, I'll give you $3 billion, right? But I now control all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, where you can go, what you can say, when you wake up, when you go to sleep. I control everything about you now. Would you be willing to take that deal? Fuck no, because your sovereignty and your freedom matters more than money. And that's my whole issue with liberals talking about. Let's just let everybody come here and get free shit. And no, nigga, no. I don't give a fuck if they stimulate the economy. They got to fuck with the culture before they come here. And then they can stimulate the economy. That's good. It's the way that you win that matters. It's not winning at all costs that matters. So, all right. Just like niggas they don't be thinking, bruh.
Came here illegally. Millions came here illegally just the last 4 years.
But a lot of that is because of economic scarcity in other countries. Well, one of them we could talk about. One is American exceptionalism.
Yeah, of course, there's got economic scarcity. The other countries they're trash. That's what I'm like. Of course, the economic scarcity, bruh. It's because the culture is shit. I'm telling you, it all comes from the culture. The culture of the other nations are shit. So, of course, they're going to have economic scarcity. I'm telling you, the reason why the U.S. is so good is because the culture is there first and then capitalism. First, freedom is baked into the culture, and then it allows for freedom when it comes to economics. Do you guys not see how this follows? If you don't have freedom in terms of your culture, you're very restricted in what you can do. There's not going to be as much economic opportunity because people are not free. You know how many people make millions of dollars off the ability to speak freely? People have built tremendous businesses off being able to speak freely. Look at social media, for example. Because you can say whatever you want on social media, you can do what? You can build an audience of people who do what? Agree with you. If you build an audience of people who agree with you, you can then sell stuff to them. If you can then sell stuff to them, you make money naturally. Do you guys not see how that works? If free speech is gone, what ends up happening? People can't freely express themselves, or freedom of speech or freedom of expression is gone. People can't freely say what they really want to say. People can't freely express themselves. What ends up happening? You lose economic opportunity. Do you guys understand? When you take away people's rights and freedoms, when you take away what this country, the U.S. is built on, now all the economic opportunity goes away. And that's what these short-sighted, dumbass liberals don't fucking understand. This is why they want fucking Batunde and them to just come up in this motherfucker, because they're stupid.
Continue. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Bitch, sprinting.
How are you? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Alana. It's nice to meet you.
I've heard one funny thing that with gingers, you either get them ugly as fuck or they're bad as shit. I've heard that. I don't know the truth or not behind that shit, but that's what I've heard. Like, it's either with gingers, you get a butt ass ugly girl like her, for example, or you get a really hot ass bitch. But it's just one or the other. I'm trying to think. What's an example of a hot ginger, bro? Oh, Lindsay Lohan from fucking Mean Girls, in that Mean Girls movie. That's an example. That's a good example. You know what I'm saying? So I show you niggas. Let me see. I'll find it real quick for you niggas, bro. Hold on. Lindsay Lohan. I don't think she's a natural ginger, though. Let me see. Nah. I need to find her when she was actually in the... Damn, bitch, ugly as hell now. Bitch, ugly as hell now. Nah, when she was in this joint, she was fine in this joint. Yeah, let me get y'all help, nigga. Quick side quest, you know what I'm saying? Quick side quest for the boys, man. Yeah, and this, when she was in Mean Girls, Shawty was fine, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That was a bad jump back in the day. Yeah, when she was in this joint before she started doing crack, this shit was lit, bro. But anyway, back to the important shit. That's just what I've heard about gingers. So back to the real nigga shit.
Okay, so I think the issue is the framing of incentive here. Incentive doesn't disappear in a socialist or a communist society.
Yes, it does. But anyway,
it just changes and evolves. So we see in capitalism, the incentive is obviously monetary gain, maybe even collecting capital itself through land ownership. In a communist or a socialist country, you would see incentive would just evolve into, I know it's a vague term, but the common good. You have an incentive.
Yeah, but you see, niggas don't give a fuck about the common good. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, what the fuck? It's just a lot of like leftist talking points when it comes to socialism and communism. It's like it's just an innate misunderstanding of human nature and reality. Most humans are not instantly driven off common good. They're just not, guys. Most human beings are not interested in the common good. They're interested in doing whatever benefits them immediately. That's really what they're interested in. This is why having incentive of, if you do these things, you can gain a lot of shit is important, because this drives people to take action. Understand? We need people who are driven to take action. If we ensure that, okay, if you don't do anything, you don't get anything, that drives people to do things. We can't be sitting here talking about some, all right, guys, kumbaya. Let's do all the shit we need to do for the common good. You have to be very smart to think that way. Most niggas are very fucking selfish, by the way. Most niggas are ridiculously fucking selfish. So most people innately are not going to immediately think about the common good. Think about when you were fucking 16. Think about you right now. When you stole that piece of candy from the store, right? When you snuck into that movie you weren't supposed to sneak into. Niggas break rules, bro. Niggas are not always thinking about the common good. So we can't have where you're trying to say that society is going to be able to be driven by all these people thinking about the common good. Niggas are not going to be thinking about the common good, bro. They're just not. Niggas are thinking about doing shit for themselves. And it's important that we can build a society using human nature naturally. If we don't use human nature, if we try, bruh, one of the biggest reasons why society has gone to shit, let me explain to you guys, is because of a stark and aggressive disregard for human nature. Liberals do not fucking understand human nature. They do whatever it takes to ignore it. Anything that makes sense, they're like, I don't fuck with that. That's a man, that's a woman. No, it's not. There's only 2 genders. No, there's a billion. It's like, bro, well, I can be a woman if I just say I am. Nigga, no, you can't. you can't do these things. And because liberals live in a fairy tale la la land, they also think, oh, human beings aren't motivated by selfish desires or selfish interest. We can completely and totally build a society where everybody's fighting for the common good. Everybody's interested in the common good. Everyone is doing whatever it takes or what is good for the better man or whoever. Nigga, you can't build a society off that shit. People are way too selfish, unfortunately. And it's what's even funnier is you can only do some shit like this if you make a country majority religious. You need to basically make everybody follow under a religion, whether that be Christianity, Islam, Judaism. You need people to all fall under a banner of religion to make people want to strive for the common good. But if you're going to be in the socialist or communist fucking society, that's not going to work. Like, that's not going to work if everybody's just believing whatever they want to believe. Because what might look like the common good for you is not going to look like the common good for that nigga. That's going to create a lot of fucking problems. But in a capitalist society where it's kind of like you have to work or you get nothing, you instantly have an incentive to start doing work and producing things. Understand? So it makes people want to do things that helps benefit other people naturally. You're forced to do this work. And because you're forced to do this work or you get nothing, somebody's able to benefit. You guys understand? So this allows the roads to be built. This allows for houses to be built. This allows for this computer to be built, for this camera I'm using, for this headset that I'm using to talk to you niggas right now. If we just decided, no, everybody's just going to work for the common good, well, who decides what's the common good? If we don't all fall under a banner of religion to some degree, whether it be Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, or whatever other fucking religion, right? If we don't all fall under a banner, it's going to be impossible to get everybody to work for the common good. That's what I'm saying. These niggas don't understand shit. They don't understand human nature. They don't understand how humans actually operate. They do whatever it takes to ignore reality and purport ideas that don't fucking work. Just dumbass niggas, yo. Just dumbass niggas, bro. Like, oh, man, I'm so tired of these niggas, bro.
To do your chores around your house because you don't want to live in a filthy house, right? That makes sense. It doesn't have to be just monetary.
So you don't think monetary incentive drives people? Or you're saying that people should be excited to do their job, whether they're getting incentivized for it or not?
Yeah, it's just not going to work, bro. It's something they just like it's, I'm telling you, they just ignore reality no matter what. Like, it's just, this shit's not going to work. Niggas are selfish. If people do not work if you don't put them in a do or die situation, I'm sorry. Most niggas are not naturally motivated. Most niggas are not intrinsically motivated. You have to put them in a situation to get them to do shit. Most people only do shit once it's too late. A massive word among young men that is a very big issue among young men is what? Procrastination. Why am I procrastinating, bro? Why do I have no motivation to work, bro? Imagine we just had niggas that were not in a do or die situation. We'd have a billion procrastinators. Nothing would get fucking done. Everybody would start starving. Everybody would start killing each other. And then we'd just go right back to being like, okay, wait, we need to reinstate capitalism, my niggas. That's just what would happen.
People will be incentivized to do.
Give me a case study. Give me a case study of that worked. Give me one case study.
We don't even need to look at case studies. We can just look at charity work.
Well, why don't we
nigga. She said we can just look at niggas doing charity. Oh man, what the fuck? Niggas, bro. Do you think niggas are naturally gonna do charity? Most people who donate to charity, a lot of the times, it's after they've already are wealthy, right? And even if they're not wealthy, they only give a small amount to charity. They only give a very small amount. And the thing is, if there was no incentive at all to work, to survive at all, niggas would not just be out here donating to charity. That's what these niggas do not understand. Most people are not going to be intrinsically motivated to do charity work. Do you think everyone is out here donating to charity, my nigga? No. Most niggas are not just out here donating to charity or excited to donate to charity. They're mostly doing it. I'm going to be real. Most people donate to charity just to pat their egos, to be like, oh, look at me, I'm doing a good thing. Look at me donating to charity. I'm doing this good thing or whatever. It's just it's not because they really want to donate to charity. It's more like, I'm just kind of doing it because I have all this money, might as well do it. For some people, I know some people who are not as wealthy donate to charity as well. Like they're more, even if it's small, they'll give $5, $20 or whatever. That's fine. But for the vast majority of what it takes to build a society where everybody survives, we can't give niggas this option on whether they need to donate to charity or not. We need to incentivize people to do things. People are not going to just naturally want to be benevolent. I'm going to be real. Most niggas are just not naturally like that. It only works, or that can only be that way for the most part, if there's a massive religious incentive. Unless you guys plan to force religion on everybody who lives in the country, this can't work.
Why don't we actually look at a case study? You got two countries, North Korea, South Korea. One is communism and one is capitalism.
Yes.
North Korea's GDP last year was $23 billion.
Are we judging countries' values based off GDP and not what they value for
freedom of speech? You can't, like, if you lived in North Korea, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing right now. You wouldn't have a voice. In South Korea, I'm gonna give you stats. In South Korea, their GDP is.
See how I mentioned earlier, by the way, like, I mean, that's not necessarily the point you was trying to make, but you see how I mentioned earlier, like, just the fact that you have freedom of speech creates an enormous amount of economic opportunity. Like, if you can't even say what the fuck you want to say, like, you become very limited. And that's what I'm saying. People want to come to America not because of the fucking capitalism, but because of the culture that creates the capitalism or allows capitalism to be a certain way that people enjoy.
$1.7 trillion.
South Korea is also owned by like 5 companies in total in the entire country.
Times better
you think
than
that's
North
something
Korea.
if you aren't employed by the top 5 countries, you are practically unemployed in these countries.
Do you like to be free?
I'm not going to be free in a country like South Korea where I'm only employed in 5.
You think you're going to be free under communism, nigga? You think you're going to be free, nigga? You're going to be doing slave labor, nigga.
Companies or
you're going to be forced to do slave labor, nigga. Like...
like me. Do you like to be free where you can have a strong opinion? Do you like to be free to have your
I like to be free, but that's why I'm anti-capitalist.
Well, maybe you are.
That is why I'm anti-capitalist, because capitalism.
You're literally free. Like, bitch, what the fuck? You're literally you're super free. The fact that you could come out here and argue with this nigga makes you ridiculously free already. Like, what the hell? You're already very free. Like, bro, in my mind, so many liberals don't know the privileges that they have until they lose it. They don't understand. They and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's more and more and more. I'm telling you, just even with the way I've just been so radicalized by what just happened with Charlie. It's like, these people don't realize they're begging for their own destruction because they're children. They just don't know what they're asking for. They see what is working now. They don't understand why this actually works and why this is better than the other shit. So they're demanding their destruction. They're going to see it, right? They're going to see it, and they're going, oh, why did we do this? I'm like, nigga, we tried to warn you, but they're dumb. They're short-sighted. They can only think in the first order. Whatever makes me feel good now, we should do it. Well, I don't feel free, so I'm not free.
That choice. There is no real incentive of capitalism because the incentive is survival. When you get into communism, the incentive is for the common good.
I love that. I got an offer for you.
What's even funnier is that, well, the thing is, you can do more than just survive if you think. You can do more than survive if you're willing to increase your knowledge and understanding of the world. So this idea that, oh, it's just for survival, it's not just for survival. You can thrive if you so choose, but it's a choice, though. No one's going to force you to thrive. Nobody's going to force you to use your brain because we want to give people freedom. Once again, what the country is built on. We want to give people freedom of opportunity, not outcome. If you're only able to survive under capitalism, that's a you problem, my nigga. That's a you problem. But what I also say there, of course, making sure that there's always opportunity is very important. And I would like to believe that's what liberalism was like in the past. It was making sure there was no glitches in the system or glitches in the game to ensure that everyone was able to have an opportunity. Sure, I think that's very important. I don't think we should be in a situation where we do whatever it takes to prevent people from having the opportunity to become very wealthy. But what I am saying is, if you're not wealthy and you're in a survival mode, nigga, we also have to be in a position where we're like, nigga, that's your fault. Nope, we can't force you to become smarter or make better decisions or spend your money in a better way where you can thrive instead of survive. So it's just these niggas just have this constant lack of understanding of how things work. That's why they feel like, oh, I'm not free because somebody's in this bad situation. Bad things happen, guys. Sorry. And you don't have to be in these situations if you don't want to be, but you're choosing to, and then you think that the system is broken when it's not.
Before we move on, if I were to give you your $2,350, which is the cost to renunciate your citizenship, and I paid you your first class, flight to whatever communist country, and $20,000 of spending money,
communist country.
Would you give up your citizenship to go to that country? Whichever communist country you want to go to.
Yeah,
Cuba, we can give you Venezuela, we give you North Korea, any one of those you want to go to. Choose any one of them. I'll give you one-way ticket.
What type of communism is she talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like
fund it for you if you want to.
Because damn, I wish they didn't even vote this bitch out. Because I want her to explain. Okay, well, what kind of communism are you looking for then? You see, like these niggas don't even know what they want. It's like, what kind of communism? Anyway, I would just want to hear what she actually says.
Thank you. Yes.
But if I was at this show, I want to go to a Jubilee event so fucking bad, y'all. I'm gonna get into one. I actually looked at it. What was it? Maybe like a week ago. I was looking at all the Jubilee, like all the things that you could sign up for. I'm gonna look at it again, but to like see flying out there. And at least what I saw, there was nothing that involved like, because I'd want it to be around like conservatism. Maybe it could be some like fat shaming shit or like fat versus fit people. I kind of want to do that too. Just one of them. But I'm definitely going to get on Jubilee at some point in the future for sure. Because I'll be in this, I'll be cooking, bro. I'll be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to do like one versus nigga, like conservative versus a bunch of like liberals or some shit. Like I would love to do that shit so bad. Anyway, we'll see. In the future, I'm going to do that shit, niggas. Don't worry.
Okay. My name's Hunter. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen your videos before. Even though there is some real value to free enterprise, the profit motive often creates a perverse incentive and worse outcomes in certain situations.
And this, okay, see how I was saying earlier? I do agree with this. I'm not even going to deny this fact. But once again, the positives of capitalism outweigh the negatives is my point, is what I'll say, especially in America. In America, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. I'm not saying that there's problems, but as I was already saying before, capitalism is one of those systems that also can fix itself, right? Because the minute somebody has an issue with something, capitalism solves that problem because people are like, hey, if you have a problem, if I can solve that problem, you can pay me. So people will solve that problem. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be situations and that means that even if you have a situation or a problem with capitalism, like, oh, it creates this other horrible issue over here. Well, I'm like, okay, we can use capitalism to solve that problem and to figure out solve that problem. Okay, for example, let's say using the gym industry that I was talking about earlier. Let's say the gym industry is selling all these supplements to people, or like selling the fact that you need these supplements that you don't really need or whatever. Or these pharmaceutical companies are saying, take all this fucking gay ass medicine that is making everybody crazy all the fucking time. It doesn't actually help anyone. Liberals love this shit, right? They're selling it to a bunch of people saying you need this shit. Well, somebody could build a social media page or a business talking about all the pharmaceutical medicines that you actually shouldn't buy, or creating a checklist that they could sell to people. Hey, these are the pharmaceutical medicines that you should never fucking buy that could ruin your life. Hey, these are all the gym supplements that are sold to you that you actually don't fucking need. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, capitalism is a system that solves itself, y'all. And that's what makes it beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna let him say what he wants to say here.
For example, healthcare. How much would you pay for a life-saving treatment for yourself or one of your family members?
How much would I pay for it?
Say you have cancer and you have an 80% survival rate with chemotherapy and less than 10% without it. How much would you pay? Whatever it takes, right?
Sure.
That's a situation of inelastic demand, when the amount that you're willing to pay is not based on the value of the service, because your life does not have a finite value. In the US, 66.5% of all bankruptcies are because of medical debt. In most other developed nations, that number is way lower, if not zero. And at the same time, the US does not have one of the best healthcare systems in the world. We pay over $13,000 per capita. Meanwhile, Taiwan, which
when you fucking import 100 billion people from fucking Nepal or fucking Mexico or fucking Togo or some shit, well, yeah, the healthcare system is obviously gonna fucking struggle a lot too, by the way. So like these niggas will like say shit like this, not realizing that they're also voting for shit that causes the healthcare system to have a lot of drag on it. We're also not gonna ignore the fact that you know how many fucking fat people are here in America? You know how many fat niggas are here in America? You know how many health issues are created by just you being a fat ass nigga? Do you know how many health issues are caused by you shoving a bunch of fucking hot dogs in your mouth, nigga? Do you understand the amount of health issues that you get from that shit? Heart issues, breathing issues, respiratory issues. Do you understand? Like, I'm not saying that the healthcare system is perfect. As I already just kind of talked about pharmaceuticals already. Yes, not perfect. But understand, a lot of people's personal decisions is what leads to the healthcare system having a lot of problems. It's not like just, oh, all these problems are because of capitalism. Like, it's funny to me because a lot of these niggas, and what you'll notice what liberals always do, they'll blame systems more than they blame personal responsibility or personal choices. I'm not saying systems are perfect. I recognize when systems have flaws. But the thing is, liberals will do whatever it takes to omit personal responsibility for why certain systems have flaws. Right?
By most metrics, has the best healthcare system, and a national healthcare service only pays about $2,500 per capita per year.
So what does that tell you?
And plus, you'd be taxing niggas through the fucking roof for that universal healthcare shit, bro. It would literally be fucking ridiculous.
Tells us
that's wasted expenditure.
Yes, that is a massively wasted expenditure.
That tells you the government doesn't know how to spend our money.
No,
they keep raising taxes. We keep more money, and they don't know how to spend the money.
No, most of that money is coming from private insurance. In fact, 77% of the people who went bankrupt from medical debt had insurance and then lost it because they couldn't pay.
So we can address that. The fact that 60-something% of bankruptcies are due to health, which is your right. We've done many content on that piece. I want you to come back to incentive. Address the issue with incentive right now, with capitalism.
The reason why the medical debt is so high in that is because of the profit motive. If people will pay whatever it takes to not die, the profit motive in that case is perverse because healthcare shouldn't be a market in the same way that other things might be a market.
So you don't think the motive to have profit, to come out with a solution, is a good thing for the marketplace, specifically in the healthcare side?
I think it depends on which market you're talking about. It's way different. We're talking about video games or cell phones or TVs or other goods that aren't.
So basically, like more like his point is just like, okay, with the healthcare system, because once again, I'm not even fully disagreeing with him here. I'm not saying that the healthcare industry is very perfect. I think when it comes to capitalism, I would argue that it's probably one of the industries that has the most valid type criticisms or issues, you know, in terms of like saving niggas or money. Yes, I can agree that it can become a big problem, you know, but I would still say from a capitalism perspective, it is still better to have that than just, okay, we give everybody free healthcare. You know, we need to incentivize people. We need to incentivize people to improve healthcare. Does that make sense? Or to save people. And the only way we can incentivize people to save people better or at a higher level is if there is a profit motive, to be real. You know, I'm not saying everything that is created. Because, for example, going back to the gym, using the gym again so you guys can understand it easier. Okay. In the gym, all the supplements, a lot of that shit is bullshit. I'm being real with you guys. But it doesn't mean you using those supplements cannot not lead to you getting better in the gym physically or getting in shape. They can. If you want to use these other supplements, you don't need them, but you can use them and still get fit. Do you understand? So at least when it comes to a healthcare perspective now, if we don't have people that want to improve the healthcare system, then more people are going to actually end up dying overall. But if the thing is, if you're willing to pay more, the likelihood that you are saved is just higher. Do you guys understand? So in the same way with the gym industry, or going back to the gym industry example to make it make sense again, it's like, okay, you want to incentivize people to get in shape because the thing is, speaking of healthcare, people are healthier when they're able to get in shape. You know what I'm saying? When you get in shape, you're obviously going to be a healthier individual. So doing whatever it takes to get people to want to get in shape is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's just obviously the problem comes in where people kind of end up overspending for shit that they don't need to get in shape because they've been convinced that they need all these things to get in shape. Understand? So yes, in some ways I can understand how, like, especially with healthcare, it's like, oh, well, niggas are kind of creating more than they really need to create and people are going broke just trying to get their lives saved. But the problem is if we don't have any incentives at all for people to want to save people, they won't. Do you guys understand? We need people to want to be incentivized to want to save niggas. If there's no incentive to save niggas, more niggas are going to actually die overall. It's not good. You know, this is why in a lot of places where there's universal healthcare, anybody can fucking walk in. More people actually end up dying because the lines are so fucking long. You're never going to get to see a fucking doctor. These niggas are not getting paid. They're not going to be able to save enough lives because everybody's going to the fucking doctor. You can have one nigga walk in there who cuts their hand a little bit and they go to the fucking doctor while one nigga, his leg got chopped off and he has to sit here and be bleeding fucking out while this nigga's like, oh, my hand hurt. And then if you tack this on with bringing in 100 million niggas from butt fuck nowhere, all of a sudden more niggas are just dying for no reason. So it's like, it's this game of balance that we're trying to hit with the healthcare system where, yes, we're trying to incentivize people, but we're also trying to make sure it's not too crazy to the point where niggas are having to basically go broke just to survive. But we have to strike that balance because we can't just let it be universal where anybody can just walk in because more people are going to end up dying because some people are going to be going to the hospital and they don't have a big issue, while niggas who do have a big issue are trying to rush to the emergency room. They can't get a room and they fucking die. So there's these things that we have to consider when it comes to shit like this.
As necessary as
you're
healthcare
specific to healthcare.
Yes, I'm talking specifically about healthcare. So there's certain other markets.
You ever heard of Home Depot? You ever heard of Home Depot?
Yes, I'm aware.
So one of the guys who's the founders of Home Depot, investors of Home Depot, his name is Ken Langone. His father died at 62 years old. Ken Langone today is roughly 90 years old, give or take. Mm-hmm. When he died at 62 years old, he tells the story that if there was a simple thing.
Oh, you know, even one thing I'm worried about too, by the way, Chad, is that fuck. Because I even got copyright striked on YouTube for watching this. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see. I might have to be a lot more careful with my coverage over this shit because I don't want to get copyright strike. But that's just something that came to my mind, nigga. So I just felt like I needed to say that. But anyway, you could see.
As blood thinners, his father would have lived to be 90 years old just like he is today.
Yes. That makes sense.
Came because of innovation, which he's been on for many years. My dad's been on blood thinners for the last 40 years. So
I think you're conflating two things right now. Not all innovation is the result of the market, because many healthcare developments are created by research grants from healthcare funding, whether it's in the United States or in other countries. In most other first world countries, the result of medical research developments, which are massively outpacing that in the U.S. now because of our inefficiency, because we have a market-based system for healthcare.
A very basic question for you.
Most of that is because of non-market-based systems.
Basic question for you. If that's the case, it keeps going back to the same thing. If it's better in other places than it is here, why are Americans and others not going there? Why are people coming here? It's very basic.
How much is a plane?
Culture, by the way. I want to keep reminding you guys of that too. It's the culture. It's the culture. The Constitution, what America was built on, is what makes it valuable, right? This is why I fucking love the Constitution, bro. Guys, the founding fathers are honestly the smartest niggas ever. The smartest niggas ever, bruh. The smartest niggas ever, bruh. George Washington and all them niggas, bruh, they were fucking geniuses when they created the Constitution. I really think that the Constitution is probably the greatest written document of all time in just human history, by far. These niggas were fucking cooking when they put pen to paper, y'all. But anyway, I'm just glazing them niggas, but they deserve the glaze. I'm gonna be real. It's like, it's because of the culture, bro. Everybody, it's the culture. It's the culture. It's the economy being great, or the way it is, that makes niggas want to come here is because of the way the culture is created. As PBD's making the honest argument here, it's like, you guys keep trying to argue for these other systems that you guys are seeing, not realizing that everybody still wants to come here because the culture is what works here. The culture works here, and naturally the culture affects the way that we do everything, especially how the economy is run. Once again, I keep saying, because I want you guys to understand this, it's not perfect, but it's better than everywhere else because of the culture here. That's why.
Take a cost.
No, they have the money to go to different places. They don't, because they know America's the greatest country in the world. They know.
Mama.
Okay. Appreciate
nice
you.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
All right. Where are we at? Then we're basically about an hour in. So I'll probably go about like maybe 5 more minutes. Keep cooking, and then we'll bow out this bitch. And I'll be back tomorrow, probably around same time, probably 7, 6, or 5 p.m. I should go live again, man.
I'm Luke.
Luke?
Yes.
Like
Luke.
the hat. Good to meet you.
Oh, thank you very much. Good to meet you too. So I think incentives are exactly the fundamental problem with capitalism. Is that you say incentives are what make it work, and I think that's the whole issue. Is that the primary incentives are either greed, amass as much personal wealth as you possibly can.
You think that's the problem? It's greed?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And
it's funny because you would think that personal wealth is the goal, but a lot of people quickly realize, and let me talk to you, say something important about this too, because this nigga's basically saying, oh, capitalism is bad because people are just greedy. Well, what you'll often find out, bruh, is that if you do whatever it takes to get money, you end up quickly becoming very unfulfilled. Guys, there's a billion ways to make money, especially in the United States. There's a billion ways to make money. There's a billion ways. You could literally just get up right now, decide to apply for, the job market is really hard right now. Let me not say that. But the point is, let's say you apply for 3 jobs, you could get 3 jobs, and then you could just work forever and just work day in, day out, 16 hours a day. You get up, you work 16 hours, go to sleep, do it again, over and over again. And you can make a fuck ton of money doing that. But I know a lot of you guys hearing that, you kind of fucking squirmed. You're like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about, nigga? I ain't doing that shit. Why? Because you would quickly understand that shit is not very fulfilling. It's not fulfilling at all. It isn't. So it's funny, but a lot of the times when it comes to money, a lot of people are willing to do a lot of shit for money, but they'll quickly realize that just making a fuck ton of money is not very fulfilling. At least once they've reached a point past when they're surviving, like once they're thriving, once you've made a lot of money that you're kind of like thriving. But you get to a point where you're like, okay, I kind of want my time though. It's nice to have money, but I also want my time back. I want to be able to do things that I actually find fulfilling. Because if I don't find this shit fulfilling, I'm just kind of just selling my soul for money. And most people actually don't want to do that. So he might be sitting here saying that, oh, human beings, there is greed. It creates greed. Everybody wants to be greedy. Yes, everybody wants money for survival. The people who usually want money the most are usually the brokest niggas. No. I'll take that back. Usually the people who want money the most are people who pay the most attention to money. They're like, they make their moves based off money. But a lot of people who are broke or poor don't actually care about money at all. And you can tell based off their actions, the way they behave. They waste money on things that do not teach them how to make more money. They work 8 hours a day, make however amount of money based off whatever they're fucking working at. And then they spend that money on bullshit that doesn't serve them. So are they really focusing on making money with the way that they're behaving? No. So he's almost saying that this incentive leads to greed, but most niggas don't even act that greedy when it comes to money. The people who make the most money pay the most attention to it. But the vast majority of human beings that you'll see in the United States don't actually pay that much attention to money at all, based off the way that they behave. They love niggas in the United States love spending money on bullshit that does not lead to them making more money. Like all the fucking time. They literally do not care that much about money. They'd much rather use that money to spend that money on experiences or food or whatever. So he's trying to make it seem as if, oh, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of niggas are just greedy. There's actually only a very few amount of greedy niggas. I mean, niggas who are only doing shit for bread. And all they think about is making money. Like every single move and action they take is to get more bread. Most niggas are not actually like that. So that's actually a misconception that a lot of people have, that niggas are just motivated by money. No. They're motivated by getting money to be able to do things, not by money for money's sake. Understand? There's only a few niggas that are really just concerned about seeing more dollar signs in their bank account. Like it's not a lot of niggas, bro. So
you're not greedy at all.
And then, like you said, survival.
Yeah.
Right. The person, working 5 jobs, that they're doing that so they wouldn't want to do that if they didn't need to survive. But that's such a horrible dystopian world to live in. If someone has to work 5 jobs just to survive,
how did they get there? How much of that is on their decision making? How much of that is on their doing? How much of that is on the market where they're not finding ways to improve themselves?
It doesn't matter how much onus is on the individual. We want to create a world.
Of course it is.
No. See, we want to create a world in which people don't have to earn their right to exist, to live.
This man, what the hell? This nigga living in fucking Disneyland talking about some, like, nigga, no, that's not how the world works, bro. That's not how the world works. It's not how the world works. Once again, liberals will do whatever it takes to ignore reality. It's ridiculously important to understand that. No, people need to be incentivized to work. We can't put ourselves in a position where people shouldn't have to earn their right to be able to live. Well, the problem is, if nobody is earning anything and if nobody is working, everybody dies. Everybody loses in that situation. We can never, ever, ever promote the idea of people not working to survive. That's so fucking dumb. Nigga, even animals outside, the fucking squirrel outside of your house right now, in the fucking tree right now, if that nigga does not get up and go get fucking nuts and shove that shit in his mouth every single fucking day, he'll die. You have to earn your right to live, nigga. You don't just get to live for free. Even if we completely destroyed society, everybody was just fucking outside, nothing was around, would we just be able to stand here and sit in a circle and be kumbaya and be like, look at our dystopian society? Fuck no. That'd be fucking stupid. And that should be gay. Get your ass off me. Right? That'd be stupid as shit. You have to earn. Everything worth having in life must be earned. Everything worth having in life must be earned. It doesn't matter if whatever society you're living in. If you want to live a fulfilling life, you have to work for it. You need to earn your right to survive. You can't just sit and get to survive. Because if everybody has that same mentality, nothing gets done and everybody fucking starves to death. This is always what fucking happens with communism. Everybody ends up starving to death, nigga. Why? Nobody's fucking doing anything. People have to work. People need to be incentivized to do work. It's the only way anybody survives. Everything worth having in this life must be worked for, y'all. You need to tattoo that shit on your brain. Everything worth having in life must be worked for. If you do not work for it, no value is being created. If no value is being created, everybody loses in that situation. Because you're not getting value. People you could want to help and provide for are not getting value either. Everybody starves and fucking dies. Gay. Super gay. So, anywho. Even there, anyway, that'd even be a great place to stop. We're at an hour and 6 minutes here. You know what I'm saying? Got to hit the sack. Get ready for another day of content creation and fucking around, man. So yeah, there's some upgrades that I also want to make to the stream too, now that we're going to be back at it. But yeah, hold on. Let me see. I'm going to shout out the socials real fucking fast for you niggas, and then we'll get out of this motherfucker. Throw that motherfucker. Okay. Got up on X2. We got 5 of you niggas watching the X, or 6 of you niggas watching the X. Fuck with you boys, you know what I'm saying? Keep pulling up to these streams, trying to grow the fam everywhere. Cook for y'all boys. Fix fucking society, bro, because too much shit is cooked. Too many bitch ass niggas in society, bro. Tired of these niggas, bro. Gotta change all this shit. So first and foremost, throw that motherfucker. Let's shout this shit out. Bang this shit out. Bro, I'm gonna be so mad if I get copyrighted on this shit again, bro. YouTube just hating on a young nigga, bro. They don't want to see me win. All right, bro. So first and foremost, check your boy out on the YouTube, Ali Argundade. Or you can search up Fan Podcast. Whenever I've searched Ali Argundade on YouTube, that shit don't be coming up. Nigga need to get more clouded, that's why. But you can search up Fan Podcast too. Check out your boy on here. You know what I'm saying? Dropping daily success videos on this motherfucker all the fucking time. Also, like I said earlier, I'm going to be posting on Rumble a lot more too. So you guys can check out, even if you guys don't check out the YouTube, these videos will also be on Rumble as well. So you guys can see that. All right, me too now. Your boy on the IG too, Ali Argundade. This shit does come up, so you guys can check that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Little skits and short form videos that I make here, just other success tips. You know what I'm saying? You know how we move. And then last but not least, check out your boy on the X. Appreciate you 6 or 5. Are we at 6 or 5? To you 6 niggas in here, you know what I'm saying? Be streaming every single day, an hour a day, cooking hard for young ambitious men. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? That being said, we'll close out right there. And if you do nothing else, like the fucking stream. Wherever you're watching this chat, like the stream, watching on Rumble, YouTube, X, wherever, like the fucking stream so we can grow the fam. Make sure more guys know what it takes to win in this life, reach the peak of their power, their masculinity. We can honestly just save America as well. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, peace out, you boys. I'm going to catch the fam tomorrow. Deuces.